Hello and welcome to Iron Dinos. I'm Shaun and I'm here with Jason.
Hello.
And we are about to do our very long overdue second playthrough of Telltale Batman, whatever subheading the first one had. So basically this is going through the version that we saw before, and we are doing lots of alternate choices. We are essentially making Batman into the worst person we possibly can, and we're going to just basically make him a complete monstrous lunatic. So without further ado, Jason, how do you feel about this?
I feel that's what I was doing the first time when I played it, and you told me off and said, no, you've got to play as Batman. So this is probably what we'd have done anyway.
Well, that's very true. Well, the point was slightly to show that, for the most part, no matter what you choose, it makes no difference whatsoever to the actual overall story or narrative. But it is fun to see the different choices, and a couple of things, like there's binary stuff in there. So there is a couple of really big choices which will go from you getting one particular avenue of play or another, and that happens probably once per chapter. A couple of them are pretty big, and some of them are smaller. So the reason for the delay was that Jason and I were enjoying filming these together in his little room, and then COVID happened. So
but it's been
couldn't do that.
2 years.
I've done this a couple of times in here. There are lots of kind of quick time events, such as push up here, and I'm just not doing it.
Oh,
Just not doing it to see what will happen and see if it actually changes anything. And thus far, it has not made any difference whatsoever.
did you press A?
No,
You didn't even
the game
press
just
A?
does it for you.
Oh my!
No.
It says my choices matter. I read it. It told me. These
Push
guys
up.
should just
Oh,
take
no.
over the bank or whatever they're doing.
Yeah, so you see that bat in the bottom left-hand corner?
Yeah.
See how that's not filling up? It's because I'm not doing anything.
Okay. That's what the bat was for. Okay. I always wondered.
Yep. That fills up nicely when you actually do stuff, and I can't remember what it does. I think it just I can't remember.
I was going to say, what is the point of the bat then? It fills up a gauge that then doesn't give you a special move or something. It just tells you you're playing the game rather than watching it. Okay, good to
Pretty
know.
much.
I know you're trying to create a myth,
I think it's like a percentage
monster.
bonus or something, because there are stats at the end,
Ah,
as I recall. Bear with me. I made these videos over 2 years ago, so before the whole COVID thing. So excuse me if my memory is a tiny bit rusty.
he says made these videos. He basically just set it on play and didn't press any buttons for the rest of the game by the sound of it.
I had to play this game that I don't particularly like or enjoy. Finally, something I did mattered.
Oh. See, it's important to know that these do affect the gameplay. So I'm happy.
But I didn't press anything for a 3-4 minute sequence, and eventually something happened as a result of it.
See, I told you I managed to die in my playthrough. It is possible. Good.
Now, the so the way I've done it,
Let's put you in a
the Catwoman story in this is quite uncomfortable, because I have had Batman be as fucking awful and cruel and abusive to her as is possible, to see if everything still played out the way it did in the original.
I love the romance.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
Okay.
I'm so horrible to Alfred, it made me sad. Bye, Catwoman.
I mean, that's not going to win her over, really, is it? Thank you for respecting my boundaries. So I could look after myself. That's what she says.
Who put you up to this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Answer me or I let go.
But you won't. You're not that kind of guy.
Quite a lot of them early on, I was just not saying anything, and then I realised it wasn't a lot of fun, so it's best to just be as big an arsehole as is humanly possible.
Where were you? I know you prefer the brooding billionaire angle.
Relax. It was
Oh, this is all coming back to me now.
Yeah.
Not more than this.
Yes.
We're the
Yep.
grease, they're the wheels.
Harvey Dent,
Well-
the ball,
And they're rolling in enough cash and votes to help make Gotham a place for families again.
finishing
Yeah,
drink.
well, I've tried to make it as awkward as possible. So Bruce is, I've also made Bruce as corrupt as possible,
No, I knew
and
some pieces slow.
yeah, just an absolute arsehole.
I always
Bad
made myself a
man.
used car salesman.
No,
ideas?
Batman.
That's all right.
Or a bad bat then. Or bat bad. I don't know.
Oh god, it's so boring.
But yeah, I've cut it down so you don't have to look at the entire playthrough again. We've got our first one for that.
Okay, I hope you've kept in the dodgy pixelated graphics where they appear.
A man of few words is
It's looking amazingly well at the moment. Look at these lovely people.
Yeah.
Father.
Forgive me for being blunt, but one man can't save this city. And it's a dangerous mentality to think so. That's how you
So
get
do you think it's worth
freaks
replaying
like
it? Did you get a new,
Batman.
invigorated
No.
feeling
It all
from it? Oh.
depends on the man.
I thought you'd draw that out a bit more.
We'll get to
but
it
no.
later. There is one.
It's dressing up in a bat
The
costume?
best scene in the entire
In our city.
game
Though the cape may be a bit much.
is cut off from you if you play this properly like Batman.
Okay.
We'll get to that later. There's actually a really great scene that I'd never seen before. Because I had to play this 2 more times to get all the footage for this. Because I forget what happened. Something fucked up.
And I'm sure you don't.
That tends to
A
happen.
lot quite a way through. And I had to restart the whole thing again. Which is why I'm not going to be in a hurry to do the sequel series. But we will do that eventually.
You don't mind if I
Not in a
sit
hurry,
down
it's been
and
2
ask you
years.
questions, do you, Mr. Wayne?
Well,
You can ask me whatever
Yeah.
you want.
and I still don't particularly... Right, so we know...
Mr. Wayne.
We know Vicky is the villain because of the original playthrough, so I've decided to be as nice and help her as much as possible.
Quite the social event.
Come on now. It's so formal.
Just make it as simple as possible for her to burn down Gotham.
You've been going around pleasing
It's the best
everyone
way to be.
tonight.
So you're being good
How
to
are
be
you doing?
bad. I like that.
You should enjoy your own
So you can be
company.
bad
Yes.
at him and bad at her.
Better now that you're here. Well, I'll tell you, if all these
Yeah,
stuffed
I'm
shirts
just going to
went
be
around,
sleazy and
I'd
creepy
do it.
and abusive as hell to Selina. It's horrible. It's quite horrible.
Yeah.
But then why not?
I can't wait to see your stance on oh, I forgot his name.
This? No, it's nothing. It just
The gangster guy.
cut myself short.
Falcone.
What? Butler didn't help
Falcone?
you this time?
Yeah.
Hey, kidding?
Yeah,
Helpful or
good old Falcone, my
anti?
friend.
This is the necessary
Oh, you're a buddy. Yeah. Family friend.
Yeah.
of a better Gotham.
Absolutely. He was friends with my dad. We're just going to hug it out and everything.
Oh, cool.
Falcone requested to speak with you directly.
I like this hard, but I'm trusting you.
But what are your memories of the first game?
The first game, I enjoyed it. I mean, I was mainly watching you play it. I played it a bit on my own, but for the majority of what we did,
Talk
I
private.
watched you play it. And I remember I quite liked the story. The characters are, I mean, they do vary a bit, but it's the same old things.
Yeah.
It flowed. As long as you believe your choices matter, I think that makes a better game. If you don't believe it, then you're just it's a whole different gameplay. It's just watching something. I liked the romance of Catwoman, which I don't think I'm going to see again by the sound of it. So I enjoyed
No,
it
you're not.
goes the other way with that. But yeah, I thought generally speaking, apart from some glaringly bad visual issues, which are actually quite funny, like the
They're covered. They're covered. Don't worry.
good. And overall, a generally pleasing experience. And yeah, I haven't felt the need to go back and play it, but what I saw of it and played of it, I enjoyed. It was a fine addition to the Batman world for a different marketplace. I would have happily played this if we'd never spoken about playing it, and I did. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd played it before we did it together, and I wasn't. It's not that I wasn't impressed. It's Batman. You know, I enjoyed it enough for what it was. I think some of the things it does is pretty cool, like doing the whole Vicky Vale thing. Even people who aren't, you know, hardcore Batman fans may know Vicky Vale because she was in that Tim Burton
Yeah.
Batman movie. So twisting her and have her be Lady Arkham was quite a cool idea. It took me by surprise, but you know, it entirely comes down to me of what you want from a game, and I want more than this for a game. If you're telling me choices matter, I'm gonna start being horrible to Alfred now. I know. Yeah. It comes down to what you want from a game, and I want more than this. And also, some of the things bugged me in that, as I've mentioned several times, the choice to save Harvey or save Selina.
Yeah.
Obviously, you should be going to save Harvey, but that doesn't give you Two-Face. It doesn't get him scarred and stuff, which is which always bugged me. And it's kind of cool because it does give a different angle on it.
Yeah.
You know, you've done the right thing, and as so you're kind of rewarded. But as that in no way affects what Harvey does for the rest of the game.
Oh, doesn't it? Is it
It's
just the face?
meaningless.
Oh, bugger. I was hoping it would actually impact on how he behaved. Or how he at least treated Bruce. Or Batman, anyway. Bugger. I thought...
No, and there's a really cool scene where they could have done stuff for this. So that's just it. It's the... A lot of people got very upset about Mass Effect and the choices you make in them not particularly impacting the end of the game, and they're not particularly impacting even the final third game. But in this, it really...
What a git.
Right?
Thought about it. No.
Yeah, this is bad, go Bruce. Yeah, but in this, I really don't feel... Other than, like, some blocks of content that it blocks you out of if you do X or Y, because they're binary choices, I don't feel the choices mean anything. And because of that... This is just it's a visual novel to all intents and purposes.
Those were better days.
So yeah, not necessarily my cup of tea. I really don't like the fact that I've had to play this 4 times.
You haven't had to. You've chosen to.
Well, no, I
Most
had to
people
play
don't
the
have to
first
do
time
that.
because it was Batman-based things, and then we decided to do a channel, so I had to play it again. And then I wanted to make this, so I had to play it 2 more times. I was forced at gunpoint by my love of Batman.
Right, the outcry for more content was there. Give me more
that
Batman.
dude who posted that he wanted more of this content, that's why I did it. I did it for them, and...
It was me.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll get the second season at some point as well. We'll do that because these are fun. These are fun to do as a series.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's one of my favourites.
Yeah, ignore them. Honestly, it was quite liberating not having to sit and mull over every choice and go, what would Batman do? What would be best in his, what would be comic accurate? And just be like, what's the biggest douchebag thing I could do? Yep. Sit and ignore Harvey. Be a complete dick to him. Big up myself. All this stuff.
See, when I play these type of games, I always tend to do first playthrough play as me. Whatever I would choose to do in that situation. Second playthrough is generally the opposite. And then third playthrough is generally what I think is the best outcome decisions.
I don't think that... Well, I suppose you'd... If you're playing as you'd do the ... thing everything, because you love to procrastinate.
I don't love to procrastinate. I hate
not make
procrastinating.
difficult choices. I would by and large be the same. Be like, where's the go to the pub option? I don't want any of this. This is too much pressure.
Yeah, you're
I just want
basically
to go
playing
sit
as me
and
at the
play with
beginning.
cats.
We just didn't press anything. That's how I play the game. No, I put myself into the situation and play it not as... So I'm not Bruce, but I am Jason playing as Batman. So I'm in the character, but I am how I would do it in my own morals and whatever. unless I'm just
Right.
feeling awful.
Harvey is the one.
And I think
who
if you
invited
go into it expecting a standard choose your own adventure game, that's what you're going to get.
The paper trail ties your
Just
family
throwing
right
Harvey
to
under the
mom.
bus there.
Care to comment?
Yeah, remember that.
Yeah. No, I'm more.
I just finished talking about my parents' murder, and you accuse them of being what?
I prefer to when doing this sort of thing. I prefer to role play as the character I'm playing. If the character is set, I did the same in like the Guardians of the Galaxy thing. There's a few choices in there you can do, and I'm like, oh, how would Star-Lord do this, and this, that, and the other. It's more when you get to something like,
There's gotta be a mistake.
you know, the big Bethesda games, then I'll craft in my own morality, which is normally as good as possible and
And
as
if I refuse,
altruistic as possible, though immediately leaping into any kind of hyper violence with villains that I can, because that's what I enjoy in movies and stuff.
well, Hill has a history of making.
I suppose that's the liberating factor
Also-
of the Telltale Walking Dead games, because I wasn't familiar with the comics at all, and I don't know any of those characters and how they would really react. So that was
Yeah.
literally just me choosing their personalities, really. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I enjoyed those, I think.
It's
Whereas yeah,
And
you're
did you
a bit
get
over-
everyone
I
killed?
can help you get the right kind of
I,
attention.
they're one of those ones I did play multiple times, so yeah, probably. I would go back and then see, well, what happens if I do the other decision?
appreciate the offer, Miss Vale, but
Which,
Well, I believe that was really well received anyway.
Instantly makes you look bad.
The Walking Dead
I'd agree,
ones.
yeah.
I think they were really, they were ones that really started kicking it off for Telltale, like getting their name out there and everything. Because I'd been playing their games when they made proper games, when they did like the Sam and Max point and click adventures and stuff.
yeah.
I was playing them back then, so they didn't have several of the. Their USP was became having the licenses. So I played a couple of the ones where the licenses were things I was interested in, and when not,
a story.
I didn't bother. I did intend to get around to the Walking Dead ones, because I did quite like a bit of Walking Dead, but I never got around to it.
Trouble, Harvey.
No, I recommend them. They're still out there.
Yes, of course.
Just being awful to Harvey
I
again.
didn't know about this. I
So
swear.
it's like, fuck it. I was really nice to him in the other playthrough. I was kind, I was considerate, I tried to be there for it, and he still went mental on me. So this time, Harvey, go fuck yourself. This is on your head, mate.
What could he possibly hope to accomplish?
No, right, there's no saving him,
Cheap headlines.
as we've learned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so why even fucking bother? Why not, if anything, try and accelerate his downfall?
I don't know. It's a new low, even for
Sometimes it's just nice to be a douche. Well, actually, it's not nice. It's just fun to be a douche.
able to spin it as a
Yes.
conflict of interest.
Immensely.
And that wouldn't be good for either of us. It would jeopardize the entire campaign.
We need to fight back. Hill
It's
cannot
weird how much I
get
forget
away with
about
this.
what actually happened in the game, though, because I don't really remember this bit. I remember this
Yeah.
bit
Election nonsense.
Yeah.
when she turns up. Yes, I remember this bit.
We've met before.
Because now it's dynamics
You're an excellent tour guide.
of
Bob.
characters.
Well, if I lose the election, I guess I
I
can
believe this is the
drive one of
point I
those
start
double-decker tour
openly
buses
flirting
around
with her
Did you get that shine?
in front of her boyfriend.
Bruce.
And also try to out myself as Batman. I tried to do that as much as possible as well.
Anyway, I let that masked freak get away with all my stuff.
If there was an option to just come to this meeting in the mask, I'd have done it, just to see what would happen.
Well, I sure hope whatever he took wasn't too valuable.
Actually, it was. I don't know how I'm going to explain this to my client.
When things like this happen in my line of work, people tend to overreact.
We should
But
just
yeah,
be
to
thankful
to
we
anyone
got away
wondering
with
how
it.
much of this we've done, this is going to be 5 videos.
complicated.
So
High
it's
risk, high
nothing near five videos about half hour apiece. So it's not going to be
Something like that.
anything like the
Nice to meet the real
the full length which we'd done before.
The 20-odd videos. Okay, good to
Don't
know.
say anything,
Yeah,
please.
and then we'll down the line we'll have a look at the other one as well.
Harvey be surprised.
I thought that was. I thought it
There was
being
also-
extra harsh there.
Everyone
Well, he said, "Keep quiet."
cafe.
I thought he was being
Yeah.
really like, "Shut up."
That's what I'm going for. You can't.
Well,
you can't tell exactly what they're going to say based on that little
No.
thing. What would have been nice is if they had, like, the three options were always the same. So, say X was always really nice guy thing, bottom one was neutral, and the one on the right was then like super aggressive and awful and just the worst thing you could do.
I want it back.
Just so you had an idea of how to guide it on stuff like that. 'Cause sometimes they accidentally say something nice, encouraging, or, you know,
Oh no.
like a non-lunatic would say, and that's not what I wanted.
They don't know who I am. I don't know who they are. You owe me. If they don't get what they want, there will be consequences.
I don't owe you anything. As far as I'm concerned, you're on your own.
I was hoping we could work
So,
together.
yeah, surely this is all going to end after episode 1 because everyone's just going to walk away and leave you.
Yeah.
Harvey's not going to want you being involved in his
Really started this week.
campaign. She's never going to get invested.
Come out and play.
Ooh.
Write
Yeah.
it down.
Red flag! Red flag! Oh, here we go. Let's brutalise this poor peon as much as possible.
Yeah, I remember having an argument about, well, not an argument, debate with you about this one before, about how far you could go with this weapon and
Yeah.
breaking their arms and stuff.
Whatever it takes to make you talk.
Absolutely. Batman is all about threat and intimidation, and it's a thing from movies and video games that has seeped into the comics that he's
Tell me the plan.
actually wildly violent, because he's not supposed to be. He's supposed to be a man of compassion. So he's No! It doesn't even hit, though. If you look at that, he swings it like well under the head. I don't know what they were doing with that when they programmed it, because obviously they must see it didn't hit.
I believed it. Oh, but now his nose is fine.
Say goodbye to your arm, mate.
Chemicals! There's some kind of explosive! A weapon!
You're not going to flay him, are you?
Coney said he'd use them.
I don't know if I can go this far.
That's all I know. I swear!
Now, if I remember correctly, Gordon's around somewhere.
Yep,
There he is.
there he comes.
Get an ambulance in here!
I think I need to call the coroner instead. It's Montoya. Send the cleanup unit to the docks. Warehouse 133.
I was deciding there whether to see if there was some horrible thing I could say to Gordon, but I thought,
I was wrong.
no, just let him find my mess.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, if you speak to him, what are the options? Just berate him as well. Stupid cop.
Yeah, but I knew there's other stuff later. And you can, like, I really pushed their relationship. And
Oh, really?
disappointed with the outcome.
Oh.
Yeah.
You assume the persona of a bat, but you're not an animal. You nearly killed a man
Well.
tonight.
I mean, nearly isn't.
I killed 96
100%.
men tonight.
Yeah, doesn't count.
Neither did I.
I've heard this before.
My words passed straight through you. There used to be a
Oh,
difference
I hate
between
being
that
horrible
and
to
the
Alfred.
locked up in a
He's going to poison your tea.
difference
Better watch
in
out.
thinking.
No biscuits for you.
To be
He's-
a doddering old
He's
fool,
too nice for that.
but as a friend,
Oh, that's why he'll go back to the no biscuits route. You can just lessen the amount of pleasure he gives you. That sounds right.
Requires hard decisions.
you're the right man to make them. In fact, I think you're the only one who can. Remember that boy in the alley.
I'll have to move on.
Why do you keep them there?
Yeah, right. I know it's a whole thing that Batman obsesses over his parents' death, but I think the animated series did it great by having,
Money laundering?
you know, what would have been their main family room, that great big room with the fireplace and the big sofa and all the books, the giant picture of them above the mantle. And that, you sometimes see that in the comics, but that says more than having the tickets or having the gun around or anything like that. The fact that he's not
She cares about
touched that room and it's a shrine to them says so much. I feel has so much depth about the weight of their loss on him
Yeah.
than like, yeah, than just sitting with the tickets by the
Well,
Batcave.
even if he just had like a little memorabilia box that he has to pull out and maybe unlock it and have a look inside.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
would be show more than, oh, I'll just keep them on my desk. I've got loads of crap in my desk that I don't care about. I don't even know what half it is.
This is big.
I've just given her all of the information I've managed to accrue on Falcone, thus once again massively aiding in her quest to kill so many parts of this city.
An ally in the press.
After handing me something like
But
this,
you don't know that at this point in the game. I know you do, but
Yeah, I did.
you're just being a
why I'm
nice,
playing it this
helpful
way.
citizen to help the press out.
Even so, anyone...
what this could do
yeah.
for the city, my career.
I don't understand why anyone would give it to her, but I can't take
It'll be worth it.
I can't take the part of me that is a massive Batman fan out of that equation.
If I
Okay,
wrote
I'll
this
tell you, it's because
story
they're trying to
for
romance
my
her.
life,
They think that's an option.
the next time my name appears in the
They
media,
think,
But Catwoman is in this.
Vicky Vale was the girlfriend in the big film that most people have seen. 20
Yeah,
years
but
ago, 30 years
Catwoman
ago.
has been the romance in 4 of those big films. One of which, admittedly, she turned villain again in the 60s one. But, you know,
3 more appear in its place. I know.
All I'm saying is he's keeping his options open.
kill the beast
He's
once.
romancing Catwoman. If it was give it to Catwoman or give it to Vicky Vale, there's your choice. But it's not. It's give it to Vicky Vale or give it to Gordon, isn't it? Are you romancing
playing
Gordon
the
now?
game aiming for a threesome.
Is that not the point of all these types of games?
If Gotham can rally around him. But now
What are my romance options? That's what I want to know.
monster of the week.
Yeah. Again, this isn't Mass Effect. You're not going to see a tiny bit of pixelated Vicky Vale bum.
I'm not doing it for the graphics. I'm doing it
Public attention.
for the
That's what
the
brings down
emotion.
men like
For the
Falcone.
look at the nice sunset we've got here,
Though after my
or sunrise. I don't know what it is.
that too.
It's got to be sunset, right?
I don't know what side of Gotham we're on.
That's true.
Ah, yes, the bit where I
This is
cocked
one of
up.
the things I always... Now, I thought that might be more important. If you dodge it, you don't take the hit, but if you do... if you don't dodge it, you... yeah, you took that bullet in the side there, which is pretty cool, but it doesn't actually affect anything going forward.
Spare yourself the pain, old man.
Yeah, I've been through worse. And a dead bat.
As you were saying earlier, I kind of forgot this was in... didn't dodge that, still managed to do it. I didn't... This is what you were telling me about. It's not a very Batman thing to do.
While you still can.
I think that's what I did, but I didn't see the option. I just saw press this button, and did it. So I didn't give it any consideration.
Take him out.
Throw him into the rotors on the helicopter. That's what would have been the best option.
So one thing it does change is this. What Jack says and the way he says it is actually a little bit different because of the choices you've made. I don't think that's enough of a change. Jack Ryder recounting what you did, but, you know.
No, but it's quite an easy way to make a game summary that shows some effort's gone into it, rather than having
Yeah.
to recall different scenes. Just have a guy sitting there talking. That's quite easy to do.
I have already turned the press against me, which is better than we did last time.